Welcome to my Facebook Live today on Wednesday the 21st of February. I hope you enjoyed last week's one on Valentine's Day, all about relationships. And today we're talking about behaviour, and we're talking about creating the correct behaviour. Now, why have I not said right behaviour? Well, the right behaviour starts to get all judgmental because, is this a good thing or a bad thing, a right or a wrong thing? But the correct behaviour is the behaviour that's going to work for your business, for your customers, for your environment. So that's what we're talking about today is creating the correct behaviour. And in 2015, there was a Gallup poll that discovered that there's only about 13% of people who are in work are actually happy and enjoying their work, which is a pretty horrible statistic really, because that means that 87% aren't, or they're either dissatisfied or not that happy or just neutral about it. But only 13% said they really enjoyed their work. So I'm one of the 13%, but then I work for myself, and if I didn't, it would be a bit strange. So what is creating the correct behaviour all about? Well, a couple of years ago, I was at a great event, and I was sitting next to a guy who had a bus company, and we were talking about behaviour, and we were talking about how to get people behaving. And he had this lovely phrase that he used to use with his team, especially with his people out on the road, the bus drivers, which was, just imagine that the person you're about to pick up is your grandmother. Now, how would you like her to be treated? Now, the thing is, for all of us, the grandparents are the special ones. They're the ones we all want to take care of. They're the ones that all the generations want to take care of. Whether you're young or old, the grandparents are special. And I think it's just a really lovely way to think about behaviour, and especially the correct behaviour in your business. What would be the correct behaviour so that your grandmother was treated properly, the way you'd want them to be treated? And if that's the case, you start to think about things that you do that actually your grandmother might find difficult, or might not approve of, or might find confusing or frustrating or a bit risque, okay? So the things that we do in our business, we do out of a sort of a mindset of getting the most done, getting the most success, getting the most money, being professional, being successful. But sometimes we need to turn that behaviour around and actually start thinking about the behaviour effect on our customers, because that's ultimately what's going to determine our success. And your team, your group of people that work with you, and remember, my sort of audience is really for business owners who've got people who are working with them, or virtual assistants working with them to produce their effect, their transformation for their customer, whatever that may be. So your behaviour of the whole culture, your culture of your business, is made up of the behaviour of every single individual that works for you. Now, they can copy your intellectual property, they can copy your products, they can copy your services, they can copy your decor, they can copy your designs, but they can't copy your people. Hi, Anne-Marie. You're probably joining me from the lovely side of Holland. I'm coming there soon, actually. Wendy and I are going to be in Amsterdam for a couple of days before Easter. But anyway, great to see you, Anne-Marie. Lovely to have you here. So behaviour is this individual thing that is made up, and your culture of your business is made up of the behaviour of all of the people that work with you. Not just necessarily your full-time employees, but your contractors, your delivery drivers. We have a delivery driver who is a regular delivery driver for Amazon. Now, he doesn't necessarily work for Amazon. He works for, I think, DPD or one of the other delivery companies. But he's always got a smile on his face. He always says hello. He's cheerful. He's friendly. I mean, he was delivering on Christmas Eve, and he still had a big smile on his face. And he was busy as anything, running around all over the place, but he was just there being really helpful. So what the thing is, he represents Amazon. It made us feel better about Amazon, because this guy is the sharp end. He's the person that we see. So the people in your business are everybody who touches your customer. Their behaviour is absolutely vital. So if we look at behaviour for a minute, you may have seen some of my other Facebook Lives, the one I did the other week about perception and belief and self-esteem and stimulation. So that is a major component of your behaviour. The other one is your talent, your skills, your passion, your character. That's a major component of your behaviour. But far and the most important part that influences your behaviour is the environment in which you work. Now, what does that mean? Well, the environment is the physical environment, the emotional environment that is your staff are working under, and the biggest influence on that environment is you, the leader, the owner of the business. How you behave influences the behaviour of every single person who works with you. So if you're getting complaints about the behaviour of your team, your staff, towards customers, before you start going blaming anyone, maybe have a look at yourself. How are you behaving towards your staff, first of all? Because they're going to be taking that lesson and passing it on down the chain. So you are the most important thing that influences the behaviour of your staff. Now, that's a really great thing to learn, and it can be a bit of a frightening thing to learn, because if it's not going well, then you're going to start blaming yourself. Well, okay, don't do the blame bit, but maybe start asking yourself questions. How could I change my behaviour so that the behaviour of my staff is influenced? And I'm going to give you some tips at the end of this to show you exactly what you could be doing to make that happen. Now, good old Abraham Lincoln came up with this lovely phrase, which was, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. Now I have a slight variation on that, which is saying teach me I forget, show me and I remember. And both of those things, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remember what you've told me to do, or I'm trying to remember what you showed me to do, and all of my energy is on trying to remember what you did so I get it right. I'm not being very creative, I'm not doing anything contributing. But if you ask me how to solve a problem, or how to make a difference in the world, or how to contribute to your customers, I'm going to get engaged with that, and I'm going to have to make a contribution. And in that, I'll be doing the learning bit that Abraham Lincoln pointed to. So when you ask me, I'm learning about what you want to achieve in the world, and then I'm contributing to it and making a difference to it. That's going to influence my behaviour. So just a simple thing of asking your staff, asking your team members how they can contribute to you, how they can solve the problem, how they can make the difference to the customer, is going to start to change their behaviour, because you're going to change them from having to remember what you say to actually listening to what you're doing and learning about what you're trying to achieve and then contributing to it. If we move on to the next stage, if we think about the behaviour we want our staff, our team, us included, to behave in such a way that we take our customer from this position to this position. We're going to move them along somewhere. We're going to take some action that's going to change their state in some way. We're going to make them happier. We're going to make them satisfied. We're going to give them what they want. We're going to make some difference in their life. And that behaviour that is the context around the processes we have in our business. And you've got to have processes in your business, but a process that's delivered poorly is going to probably upset your customer in some way. It's going to cause a challenge. It's going to cause a conflict. But a process that's delivered well, because you behave around it correctly, is going to be much more successful. And so what is making up that context? Well, first of all, it's the mindset of the employee. So what they're thinking about, how they're thinking, and also, again, the environment around them that's encouraging them to behave in a particular way. Now, if you want to start to influence this, where do you start? Well, you don't start at the beginning. You actually start at the end. What's the results you're trying to achieve? And here are my 4 key questions that you should really ask when you're trying to reverse engineer anything. So the first question is how do you want your customer to feel at the end of the intervention, interaction, whatever it may be that you're going to have, or the end of the process that you're going to execute with that customer? So go back to the Amazon thing. So Amazon deliver to me, I order it on the computer and it goes in a van, and a guy turns up at my door and he delivers a package to me. Now there's lots of things that need to happen to keep me satisfied. It's got to deliver, it's got to arrive on time, it's got to not be damaged. And actually the way the guy talks to me at the door has a major impact on how I feel about the experience. So he's part of the process, he's part of the behaviour that's required. The next question is what is the result that you want for your customer? So if you're let's think of it, maybe you're a lawyer, okay? And somebody's going to come to your office to discuss a will, writing a will, for example. So how do you want your customer, what's the result you want your customer to have at the end of that process? Well, you want them to be satisfied, you want them to be informed, you want them to feel safe and secure that they've done the right thing. So you want to make sure that you're not confusing them. You want to make sure that people are respectful of them, courteous to them, put them in the right setting so that they're going to be able to feel comfortable about making their will. It may be you're going to go to an architect's firm to have a lovely design created. So what's the result you want them to have at the end of the meeting? What's the result you want them to have at the end of the process that they're going through? And then make sure that the people understand that result. And then you can ask them, going back to the tell, show, ask bit, ask me how I can contribute to making that happen. The third question is, what result do you want for your business? Now, this is a really key question, because we're in business to make profit. If we're not, we're probably just having a hobby. So we're in business to make a profit. So if we're in a business to make a profit and we're doing a process with a customer, whatever that process is, how do we want that process, the result, to impact the business? What's the result we want in the business? Do we want a repeat customer? Do we want to make sure that that customer spends as much money as possible with us? Do we want to make sure that customer spends as much time with us? Do we want the thing to be quick and fast and get them out quickly? What sort of behaviour is required to get that result? Because it's going to change the things. For example, if you have vacation rental properties, I see Anne-Marie's there, so she understands that market. If you have vacation rental properties, some of the key processes that the customer experiences is the booking process. So how do you want them to feel about the booking process? What's the result you want to have through the booking process? And then what's the result of the booking process on the business? So how do people need to behave in that process? The checking in process, the checking out process. All these different processes in your business, you need to know how you need to behave to make those processes successful. And then finally, there's always one question I love to ask in this sort of area, especially when you're asking individuals how they're going to contribute to you, is how can you make it extraordinary? Think about that one for a minute. What does extraordinary mean? Well, extraordinary is a little extra bit. How can you just have that going the extra mile attitude, or how can you have that bend over backwards mentality? So instead of it just being simple and good, it's extraordinary. You may have heard me talk about someone who used to work for me, Desi, when we had the customers in and we did the recording of Blind Date a cappella style for one of their presentations. That was going the extra mile. Or where you may have heard the story, I think I put it in the blog this week, about going to an office where I was going to actually try and become a supplier to a client, a TV company, and my phone was running out of charge. So I said, would you happen to have a charger for my phone? She gave me the coffee and the charger, said, leave the charger there, so I'll clear it up when you've gone to your meeting. Now, that's going the extra mile, because that's not on the form, is it? Don't expect to get that. I had a girl who worked for me when I had the beauty salons, and we were opening beauty salons. And if any of you have opened a business, this was that deadline, it's going to open tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. And the night before, something had happened, we were stressed, we were pushed, we had to get it done. Libby got her and her team together, and they stayed till 3 o'clock in the morning working. They then slept on the couches, woke up at 7:30, cleared it all up and everything, and boom, we opened at 9 o'clock. And every single one of them was standing there smiling, bright, fresh, ready to go. Because they knew what they could contribute. They knew the behaviour that was required to make it work. And so when I came in with bacon sandwiches at 7:30 in the morning, they were really happy, because they go, okay, yes, Adrian's done his bit. We've all refueled, and boom, we had a really successful opening. So how do you get that sort of behaviour from people? Because you can't just tell people what to do, because that doesn't work. It is about the environment you create. And it is probably the most important part, is the environment that you create that motivates your staff, that they are motivated to be the best they can be within the context of your business. That's a really important thing. So you have to get that piece right. The next part is you've got to inspire them to create the best result that they can create, using all their skills, talents, resources, passions, energies, so that they are really bringing something special. Hello, Gina. Sorry, I didn't see Gala. Didn't see you there. I joined. Welcome. So how do you get those people to bring the best ideas, the best innovations they can in service of your business? And the third part is, how do you engage them in not just doing it once, but engage them in the idea that this is something that's needed all the time in the business, consistently in the business, so it becomes a legacy part of your business that really delivers excellent experiences for your customers in whatever business you're in. Doesn't matter whether you're in an office-based business, you're in a hotel, a restaurant, a chalet business, a shop, or you're in a firm, a professional services firm. It doesn't matter what type of business it is. You could be an IT supplier. You are still having to deliver an excellent experience to your customers, and that requires amazing behaviour from your team. So What are my 4 tips, if you like, to really understand what you need to do to make sure that you are creating the correct behaviour in your business? And by the way, that's the reason as I said right at the beginning, the reason I'm using the word correct behaviour and not right behaviour. We could have an argument all day about what's the right behaviour in life. And some of us will be right, some of us will be wrong, we'll agree on some things, we won't agree on other things, that's fine. But you're running a business. You don't need the right behaviour, you need the correct behaviour for your business. It needs to work for your business. It needs to deliver the things you want in your business. It doesn't have to deliver what somebody wants down the road. Anne-Marie's doing vacation rentals. And it's got to be the one that's going to work for your business. Gala, I don't know what your business is off the top of my head, but if you tell me that'd be great, I'll talk to you about that. But it's like, what is it, the behaviour that you need specifically that makes your business successful? So what are the 4 things we need to do? First of all, you need absolute clarity about your purpose. What you're doing your business for, why you're doing it, who you're doing it for, the results you're trying to achieve. Really be clear about that. The second part is have really simple guidelines. Now, when I ran a hotel, I had 2 guidelines. Exceed our customers' expectations every time they visit, and the second one, which was to the individuals, was use all your talent, skills, abilities, passion, knowledge and energy to achieve the first. That's why they were able to be very innovative. So the guidelines help people innovate, help people contribute from themselves, contribute their passion, their skills and their talents, more than just their job role. They're actually doing things that they are really passionate about and love doing. And the last 2 parts is you have got effective relationships with your staff by now. If you listen to the Facebook Live on Valentine's Day, or if you didn't, you can go back and watch it. It's in the group here below, scroll down to it. The relationship part is having effective relationships, making sure that those relationships are really, really strong so you can leverage them. You need to have your relationships at a point where they're so effective, people are every employee is a role model for your business. Every employee is really trying to make your business be the best it can possibly be. Because if you get that part right, the final part is easy. It becomes really easy. Because what the final part is consistently creating an opportunity for your employees, your team, the people that work with you, to contribute. Now, if you've got any questions, just put those in the question box now, because I'd love to answer some questions. And if this is useful and likeful, give me some hearts, give me some likes. And I really would love you to share this with people, because this is not an easy one. So Anne-Marie said, and I think everything you're doing is coming straight from your heart. Thank you, it is. This is my passion. I am very lucky to be able to work in a business that is totally and utterly my passion. I get up in the morning, and if I'm serving people in the way that I can to help them grow their business, to become better at what they do, that's my thing. That's my stick for life. So if there's any questions you've got, guys, about behaviour, creating behaviour, have you got any challenges in your teams? Do you know anything that's going on that you'd like a quick buzz? I can do that because we've got a bit of time. And just finally, when we're creating the opportunity for contribution, just think for yourself, when was the last time somebody gave you a chance to make a contribution? Now, it may have been a small contribution, it may have been a big contribution, it doesn't matter. But when did somebody give you a chance where you felt compelled to contribute? It's like you were drawn to do that. You were so compelled, it seemed like the natural thing to do. You didn't feel like you're under pressure. They didn't feel like there was strong arming you into something. You just felt like, oh, actually, I feel that I can do that. Because that's the thing that you're trying to create for other people. You're trying to create that environment where everything is so clear for them, where they understand the guidelines, so simple guidelines, really simple guidelines, that they respect you, they have a relationship with you, that they want you to guide them, and that they really understand that they can contribute their skills, their talent, their passion, their ideas, their innovation to helping you move your business from where it is today to where you want to have it to do in the future. So creating the correct behaviour is about giving people the opportunity to contribute. And to do that, you need to motivate, inspire and engage them and really make sure they understand what it is that you're trying to achieve in the world. So it's a short one today. They always are trying to be. I'm trying to be short, trying to keep them under 20 minutes. But if anyone would like to ask any more questions before I go, Anne-Marie, thanks for being on here today. Gaia, thank you very much as well for being here. Wendy, thanks for being here. And I know a couple of people come in and come out as well. So thanks for your time. I hope you've enjoyed it. And of course, the recording will be in here too. And next week, we're going to have a bit of a change up. We're going to maybe do something a little bit different. But it'll be at 12:30 on Wednesday. See you here live in the group next time. Bye for now.